All right, everyone, welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah, always exciting. Why
Definitely.
jump into a new topic?
For sure. And today we're taking a look at Bugout Adventures.
Bugout Adventures.
Yeah. So this is kind of a social media channel, and it's all about, getting ready for the unexpected.
Okay, so like prepping, survivalism, that kind of thing.
Exactly, but with a bit of a twist.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What's the twist?
Well, it's not just about like stocking up on, beans and rice and hiding in a bunker somewhere.
Right, the classic prepper image.
Yeah, this is more about practical skills, mental toughness, kind of a more holistic approach to preparedness, you could say.
Interesting. So it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving in challenging situations.
That's a good way to put it. And what's really fascinating to me is the person behind this whole thing.
Oh, yeah. What's their background?
Well, let me tell you, this isn't just some random survivalist guru.
Okay, good to know.
This creator has a master's in forensic psychology, another one in criminal justice, and get this, a degree in street life.
Street life. Now that's a new one.
I know, right? I'm not even sure what that entails, but it definitely piques my curiosity.
For sure. Sounds like they've got a pretty unique perspective on things.
Absolutely. I mean, with a background like that, what kind of bug-out adventures are we talking about here?
Right. Where do they even begin with all that knowledge?
I mean, especially with a tagline like, all things bugging out.
All things bugging out, huh?
Yeah. What do you think that means?
Well, to me, it sounds like they're casting a pretty wide net.
It does, yeah. Not limiting themselves to any one specific scenario.
Exactly.
I mean, bugging out typically implies escaping a dangerous situation, like a natural disaster or some sort of social collapse.
Right, the classic get out of Dodge scenario.
Exactly. But with a background like that in psychology and criminal justice, I'm thinking they might be talking about a whole range of challenges.
Like, well, think about it. Surviving. Psychological tactics to handle tricky situations.
That's a really interesting point. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, someone with a psychology background could probably teach you a lot about de-escalating conflict or reading people's intentions, right?
Yeah, like a mental survival toolkit.
Exactly. A mental survival toolkit. That's a great way to put it.
So it's not just about the physical stuff. It's about being mentally prepared for anything.
Right. And they emphasize primitive camping skills, too, which got me thinking.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Now learning to build a fire or find water in the wild, those are great skills.
Essential even.
But I'm thinking their approach with this might be more about adaptability and resourcefulness.
So it's not just about surviving in the wilderness. It's about having that survival mindset no matter where you are.
Exactly. If you can handle sleeping under the stars and foraging for food, a power outage or supply chain disruption wouldn't seem so daunting.
That's a great point. It's all about perspective, right?
Totally. And speaking of perspective, they also talk about hashtag preparedness and hashtag insights related to hashtag current events.
Oh, yeah, I noticed that too.
And it made me think about, how being aware of what's happening in the world can actually inform how you prepare.
Oh, for sure. I mean, take that huge snowstorm that shut down the entire East Coast a couple years back.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. It was chaos.
Exactly. Imagine if you'd been following this channel, maybe they had talked about winterizing your home or creating a backup heating system.
Right, practical advice that could have made a real difference in that situation.
Exactly. So it's about taking those bugging out skills and applying them to the very real challenges we face in today's world.
Yeah, it's not just about surviving some hypothetical doomsday event. It's about being prepared for anything life throws at you.
Absolutely. And you know what else I found interesting?
What's that?
They talk a lot about the human element of survival. Things like hashtag share experience, hashtag strength, and hashtag hope.
The human element. That's often overlooked in the prepper world.
Totally. But it's so important, right? Surviving isn't just about physical skills.
No, not at all. It's about having a support system, people you can rely on, and a belief that things will get better.
Exactly. And I think that's where the creator's background in psychology really comes into play.
Right. They probably understand how important mental resilience and community are, especially when things get tough.
Especially then, for sure.
Yeah, and it's not just theory with them. They actually bring their own personal experiences into the mix.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, they mention doing commentary on hashtag current events and how it affects a person, and also doing book reviews based on their experiences.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about that? Valuable addition or just noise?
I think it adds a lot of value, personally.
Why do you say that?
Well, because this creator They've walked the walk. They haven't just talked the talk. They've got the degrees and the life experience to back up their insights.
True, they're not just armchair experts.
Exactly. And by sharing their personal take on current events and the books they've read, they're giving their audience a more well-rounded perspective.
Yeah, maybe even challenging them to think about preparedness in a new way.
Exactly. And now, for the best part, at least in my opinion,
Oh, I'm all ears.
they describe their channel as like a box of chocolate. You never know what you might get, but it's good.
Uh-huh. I love that. It's definitely got a sense of humor.
Right. It makes me think they're not afraid to mix things up and keep it interesting.
It definitely speaks to their personality and their teaching style, I think.
Totally. They're probably the kind of person who can connect seemingly unrelated topics in a way that makes you go, uh-huh, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, those unexpected connections are often the most insightful.
Absolutely. And, it all comes back to that incredible list of qualifications.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that again.
I mean, street life, art, psychology, criminal justice, forensic psychology. It's wild.
It's like they've taken all these different pieces of the puzzle and created something truly unique.
That's a great way to put it, a unique perspective.
And think about it. Understanding human behavior, the criminal mind, street smarts, artistic expression, these could all be incredibly valuable when it comes to surviving and thriving in a world that's becoming increasingly complex and unpredictable.
For sure, it's not just about knowing how to build a fire anymore. It's about so much more than that.
It's about being adaptable, resourceful, resilient, and connected to others.
And having the mental and emotional strength to face whatever comes your way.
Exactly. So for all of you listening out there, the big question is,
What's that?
what unexpected connections or insights might you discover by exploring Bugout Adventures further?
That is the question, isn't it?
Given the diverse expertise of the creator and the unpredictable nature of the content, I have a feeling you might be surprised by what you find.
I think you might be right about that.
Definitely worth checking out.
I completely agree.